A very good morning to you all. You're all welcome to the third webinar of KCAA during this lockdown season. This webinar is organized by KCAA in association with Intuit Quickbooks on the topic New Age Digital Accounting for Chartered Accountants. And to speak on this topic, we have two eminent speakers today, CA Praveenkumar Gella and Mr. Venkat Raman. Before we go ahead with today's webinar, I would like to bring to your notice all the I would like to bring to the notice of all the attendees the various initiatives taken up by KCA during this lockdown. KCA has been extremely active during this lockdown, and KCA has come out with an initiative by pledging to deliver meals for the needy during this difficult time. KSC has already delivered 18,000 meals. The initiative is still open and anyone can contribute to the same by visiting the website of KCA. KCA is also organizing a webinar on this 23rd, that is this Thursday, on the topic self-introspection by CA Sanjay Dariwal. I'm requesting all the attendees to make the best use of the same and register for the same at the earliest, as the seats are limited to 250. I'd also like to bring to the notice of you all another initiative taken by KCA. KCA has come out with an online survey form. Through this form, KCA seeks to survey the financial impact on various compliances under corporate law, direct tax laws, and indirect tax laws due to the coronavirus lockdown. Users can post their queries or concerns, which shall be answered by the subject matter experts in the upcoming webinars. So the agenda for today's webinar goes like this. At first, we have Mr. CA Praveenkumar Gella to speak on the topic automation and digitization of CA practices. After which we have Mr. Venkat Raman to speak on the practical application in QuickBooks. After the end of both the sessions of the speakers, we'll also have an open session for the question and answers. The attendees can raise their queries or their questions in the chat tab, which is available on the right hand side of your screen. There shall also be polls raised during this webinar, as it was raised initially at the beginning. When a poll is raised, the attendees can see the question on their screen along with the available options. You can cast your votes by clicking on the relevant option. Also on the screen, the attendees can see the speakers on the top and the screen shared by the speaker below. The attendees are free to drag the screens and adjust to your convenience. And now it is indeed my pleasure to introduce the first speaker to the audience, CA Praveenkumar Gella. CA Praveenkumar Gella is a BSc Electronics graduate from Kakatiya University. He has done his MBA from Cochin University of Science and Technology. He has completed his CA and CMA in 2008 and is a visiting faculty at ICMAI Bangalore since 2010 and a regular faculty at ICAI for certification course and study circle meetings on GST and related matters. He is practicing since 2010 under the trade name of Gella & Co. Over to the first speaker of the day, CA Praveenkumar Gella.
Thank you, Santosh. There's been a small technical glitch because of which Mr. Praveen will be taking the second part of the session. So let me introduce myself to the audience today. And my name is Venkat Raman, and I'm a part of Intuit India. And I'll be handling the first session for now with respect to the new age digital accounting. And post that, we will have the session by Mr. Praveen Gella on the second part of the same topic. So I work for Intuit India as a consultant who helps accountants transform their practice from the existing traditional practice to, by leveraging technology and moving to cloud. Let me share a small experience that happened a couple of days back. I had been to the market with sufficient cash in my pocket to ensure I'm making all my purchases and come back home. And to my surprise, all I saw that was by the time I came back, I have all my purchases in hand, but I have not spent a single rupee of cash that I carried with me. What I'm trying to say here is that businesses have changed, and so has accounting. We all small vendors, right from the sabjiwala to tender coconut sellers today, collect money on Paytm, Google Pay, and so on and so forth. And this is the impact that technology has brought in to businesses in India. So when businesses have changed and the aggregator businesses have come in due to the change in the structure of, and the model of businesses, there is a definite transformation in the way the entire economy has been changing. So, like to bring to the notice of the audience today that it is truly a very important thing to address that world over the businesses have changed, and so has accounting practice as well. So I'm sure the audience who are viewing our presentation today, there are people who have seen big fat ledger books. The ledger books then moved into desktops moving to laptops, and today we are able to do accounting on cloud using technology. So I'm a part of Intuit India, as I mentioned, and Intuit is a 36-year-old company having global presence in more than 100 countries and a listed company in NASDAQ. Using through our flagship product, QuickBooks Online for accountants, we have been able to power prosperity across the globe for the 1 million accountants who are on our software, use our software daily, day in and day out. Let me share a few insights on the entire journey of how it all started in India and what are the key takeaways that we got from here. So we started off by meeting around 1,000 plus chartered accountants on a one-to-one basis, trying to really understand what are the multiple pain points that accountants who are in practice go through. And to our surprise, it was really helpful on the feedbacks that we got, so that we could lay our entire plan to bring in a product that will actually solve for all these pain points. So what we heard from accountants were these top 4 list of items. So the first thing is that they mentioned that they're having to waste a lot of time with manual data entry. So when we say manual data entry, it could be relating to invoicing, it could be relating to passing your banking entries. And the second most thing was the biggest pain point was having to chase clients multiple times for information. So I'm sure this is a scenario in many of the firms where we are having to communicate through multiple channels to procure the data from our clients on which we need to process and execute our work. The third and fourth related to GST filing, where there are multiple steps and tools that we are having to create and follow in order to get the GST filing done. Of course, the fourth part, the input tax credit reconciliation, where it is very cumbersome. It takes even up to 1 day, where we are having to spend time per client to get the reconciliation done. So we did a lot of homework. The challenge was taken up by the super passionate team of technology people at our Intuit, and this is what we came up with for you. QBOA, that is what it is called, QuickBooks Online for accountants, which is today India's one-stop cloud solution for the accountants. So what does this include when I say a one-stop solution? It has the practice management, where you will be able to manage your entire practice. The GST compliance, it helps you with accounting and auditing as well. I will be taking you through these segments one by one. But before that, just want to set the context and explain to make things clear to our audience today on what does it mean when we say cloud-based solution? How does this entire structure work? So let's say we have accountants who are in Bangalore, Vizag, Davangere, Mysore, and Hubli. And all of these accountants will have clients across the country. So how this works is, if, for example, scenario 1, let us consider the chartered accountant is practicing in Bangalore and he has a client who's in Davangere. So when we say one-stop cloud solution, the CA owns the license and he would have allocated it to his client who is in Davangere. How this works is for every entry that is passed from Davangere or Vizag or Hubli or Mysuru, anywhere across the country, wherever the access is given, it is very, very easy for the accountant to sit here in Bangalore and view all the records on a live basis. Similarly, all the recommendations or changes that the accountant does sitting in Bangalore is definitely viewable by the client who are having their logins in their respective locations. So this is the structure on which QuickBooks works, where we don't have to spend time to coordinate with clients, calling them, mailing them, asking them for data to and forth. And there is absolutely no duplication of work. All that we do is we have a single login through which we are giving the access controls to the respective authorized personnel, and only those people will be able to log into the system and take access, view the data, pass the entries, and download documents, so on and so forth. So let me take you through the product. Henceforth, I will be handling each of these segments: the practice management, the GST compliance, the accounting and auditing solution, case to case, and take you through the product as well. So as I mentioned, this is a cloud-based solution, and our product just needs presence of internet and your login ID to sign in with. And just want to make a small announcement here. Definitely, as a part of the COVID situation that we're all going through, we've launched help, expert help page in our website, where if, irrespective of whether you're a business owner or you're an accountant, you will be able to connect with experts who have used cloud technology and are able to consider this current situation now and take it up at a better level, where they're able to help others as well, to teach them how they're able to use technology during such tough situations as well. So please feel free to use our website anytime and log in and take help from here. Let me move into the product. So as you see on screen, this is the basic mechanism of how QuickBooks works. You go to the browser, you go to quickbooks.in, and then you sign up directly with your email ID. And as I mentioned, so this is the QuickBooks accountant tab, where there is a special privilege given to the chartered accountant. So we have two softwares. One is the online software where the accounting is done, and the second one is a special segment where there are special tools. There is a complete practice management mechanism that has been built for chartered accountants. So let me. So this is the dashboard view of the product. I'll be taking you through three main segments. The live work status tracking. I will show you how we can do that in QuickBooks. How we can set recurring projects, which means there will be repeat activities in every chartered accountant's practice, and we will be able to automate that process for you. And I would love to call out on how we give unlimited users and help you with client collaboration. So let me take you back to the product. This is the dashboard where you can see the three main tabs: the clients tab, the team tab, and the work tab. Right. So when I say client tab, all that we can what to understand is who are the people for whom we can use the practice management solution. So though this is a QuickBooks product, what we have done is we have given the facility for you to do work management for all your clients, irrespective of whether they are on QuickBooks or not on QuickBooks. So for example, the ones with QB logo here are the clients who are on QuickBooks, and the ones without are the clients whom we have added who are using a different software. Still, QuickBooks Online for accountants helps you to do the practice management for them as well. So there is no restriction with respect to or a must that all your clients who are on QuickBooks only can use this product. The second part is, let me take you through the live work status. So how this works is, this is the dashboard view. So at a partner level, as a chartered accountant, all you want to know is what are the works that my organization is doing currently, because I'm sure there's so much effort that goes into on a daily basis, and we are completely occupied doing all the work that we're doing. So currently, if the accountants are in office, they manage by on a face-to-face basis. They may raise the questions and try to get a track the status of each work. However, in this current situation where we are not able to do that, we are having to spend more time on calls or emails, and instead we have bought in a tool which you can use to track your work. So how does this work? Let me say I want to view all the works that are due last week for all my clients. So you will know that these are the works that are there in progress. These are the ones that are blocked. Yeah, these are the ones which have been done, and you will know the person who has been assigned to it. So you will be able to filter the work at individual team member level, all the types, the projects, the tasks, individual requests that we raise, and also the projects at along with the statuses of whether they are in to-do lists or they're in progress or they've been blocked for any reason or they're already done. So this is the dashboard view of the overall picture. We also have a calendar view of the same thing, and you will be able to see the tasks. So let me show you how these tasks and these projects are created in QuickBooks. So let's say we are doing a GST filing activity for one of our clients. You will be able to set the predefined templates from where you will be able to choose them. And let's say you want to do a GST filing activity for CA from LLP. Now you can create the due date, and in case it is a repeat activity, you can set that as a repeat activity and on a monthly basis as a frequency. So what this does is automatically you will see that from 6th of May, the first due date has been set. The next one will be set for June, July, and August. And all you can see are the tasks that are individual tasks that are there under this project of GST filing. So the moment you click on these tasks, you will be able to actually edit them, and you will be able to assign the works to the team members based on who works with which clients. So you will get a complete status report of each of these works that have been assigned to your team members, and will be able to easily track the mechanism through which this works. Saying so, let me take you to show you how the user management works here. So we have an unlimited user management facility that has been given. You can add all your team members, and there is no cost or additional thing that we charge for this, wherein you add your team members irrespective of where they are sitting. They will be able to do their work, update their work right away, right from here. So the biggest advantage here is that since QuickBooks is a cloud-based solution, you can even add your clients as members here and make them equally responsible for the works that we take up. What I'm trying to say.
Sorry? Yeah. Is functioning. Yeah. I'm ready, Shruti. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Praveen.
Yes, Venkat. Please continue. I'm there. Yeah. Venkat, you can carry on.
Sorry for the glitch. Some kind of login settings. Sorry, some technical glitch because of which we had to pause. I think Mr. Praveen had joined in between, and there was some kind of confusion. Sorry for the trouble. So, getting back to the practice management, we have the entire mechanism where you can even add your clients as team members and make them equally responsible for executing the entire flow of work. For example, if you're doing a statutory audit, I'm sure the statutory audit starts only when your clients give you the records. So, what we suggest is you can add the representatives from your client's end as one of these users here and make them equally responsible to deliver their part of the job before you start your part. So for example, a project, let's say a project of statutory audit has 10 steps. And what we suggest here to do is you add the first 3 steps, assign the first 3 steps to the client and ask them to, share those particular documents and mark them as done, post which from step 4 to step 9, your team takes over for execution of the work. And the 10th step, after completion of work, you assign it to your accountant, who will be able to raise the invoice after they know that 9 steps have been completed. Thus, creating the entire flow of work from where the work starts, from where how the work gets executed, and how the invoicing happens to complete the loop and bring in a structured way of creating, executing the work, and also raising the invoices on your clients. So going back to the other segment, as I mentioned, we have a special feature that is especially made for the clients who are on QuickBooks. So what you can do here is there is a mechanism where we can collaborate with clients. So you click on client request, and let's say, for example, you want to raise a request to get the PAN of a director who is your client, and you choose that client, and you just say immediately required, and you publish it. So the moment we do this, QuickBooks does 2 things. It creates a notification in the client's login. They are also logged into the same license, but from their on their access view, it will create a notification that the chartered accountant has asked for a particular document. And similarly, there is an email that gets sent to them, and a notification is created where it mentions to them about the same thing. So let me log into the accountant's book, the client's book, to show you exactly how this notification can be viewed and what is the action that we can take going forward. So this feature is completely built in with a mindset to give the ease for chartered accountants to actually coordinate with clients from within QuickBooks tool itself. Because if all the data that we need is present in one place, it is so very easy to access them any number of times by you and your clients as well. So let me just filter this by the recently updated category, and you will see the request that the chartered accountant raised, the PAN of director, has come down here. And all the client will do is, the moment he understands that the chartered accountant needs this document, he will add the document from here itself. Right. And just post a comment saying added. You just comment saying added. Once this is done, the accountant will get this in his login. So the tool facilitates absolute communication between you and the client. And let's say I take you back to practice. This is how we navigate back to the practice management solution from the accounting software. And from here, you click on that particular client, and you will be able to see the document that he has shared along with the comment. So there is a specific shared document segment in each of these licenses, which has unlimited data storage. I repeat, unlimited data storage. There is no worry, or there's no additional charge, or there is no any kind of a blocking thing done where we restrict anybody on the document. So for example, yeah, you can see here against the request made by the accountant, PAN of a director, the document has been attached here. He can view it, download it, and it's one place where you have all the documents pertaining to that client. We don't have to search back in emails. So let me just show you how this looks. This entire segment looked like in the email. So you can see here that I have added my email ID as a part of the client and the chartered accountant. So you can see the request from the CA came down. It said immediately the client will just have to click on this, and it will take him to the product directly where he can upload. And The moment the attachment is done from the client end, the chartered accountant also gets a notification. So the tool acts as a communication tool. It is also a storage mechanism, and this will ensure there is absolutely smooth functioning in communicating and collaborating with clients. Let me take you to the next part in our presentation, which is the second segment of how QuickBooks helps the accountants in the GST compliance. So we have these three parts to explain. I'll show you the GST reports that QuickBooks populates in our software. And we brought in this amazing feature of a direct integration with a portal. So what this does is you have the facility to, there's no need for you to export any data. There's no need for you to export JSON or Excel sheets or do all the exporting and importing and uploading separately. There's a facility where you just need to click and submit directly on the portal. And also the most time consuming part under the GST compliance is the two-way mismatch that needs to be reconciled. So let me take you to the product and show you through that on how this works. So it's so easy that we are able to navigate from the practice management solution to the accounting software directly here. And that's one of the major reasons it's very, very user friendly, where you just navigate within seconds of finishing the work, come back to the work management and say done. So on to the GST reports. Let me just show you how the GST reports look like in QuickBooks. They have absolute options when it comes to drilling down to the report segment until the the transactions will take you up to the invoice level. So for example, let me populate the GSTR1 for you. So I run the report and you can see the detailed breakup that is available here, the HSNY summary. And if I just click on this, it will automatically take me into the details. Again, I click further from the HSNY summary. It will show me the list of invoices. And then further, I take it to the detail that is present in the invoice. So this has the detailed view where you can go up to the invoice. You can make the edits. Let's say you make an edit here on the rate and make it around 2,000 rupees instead of 25,000 rupees and just say save. The moment this is done, in normal scenarios, under traditional practices, which the chartered accountants themselves have told us, the pain point lies here where for every change or every editing of one entry, we are having to do the entire data transfer if the data is on a pen drive or email, again put it in the accountant software, then rework on it, send it back to the client, and they have to again replace that file in their system on any other desktop solution. So what works here is in QuickBooks, as I showed in the initial slide, the moment the accountant sits in Bangalore and does the alteration, the details or the accounts and the records of the client of his who sits in Davangere or Hubli, the records are updated live, and any changes they do are also viewable here. So let me take you through and show you how this works here and how is it that we are able to file the returns and submit the records on the portal directly. So before we had all these options to export to Excel, PDF, JSON, or utility, and all we have today to do is just click on this button which says save GSTR1 on GST portal. The moment this is done, the details as is get saved in the portal, and all you have to do is after you have done your reviews and you're finalized on the numbers, you go back to the portal, log in once, and then click on submit. So no duplication of work. All the data remains in one place, and all of them are able to access it parallelly. Let me show you the last part under the GST reports and the GST compliance. What we have the facility of doing the mismatch reconciliation on a click of a button. So all you have to do, I have a recorded video to show it up to you because it normally consumes a little bit more time. So this is the Hospitality Initiatives India company for whom we are doing going to the GST reports and clicking on the GST reports. And the moment we have the login to the system basis the login credentials and we get an OTP, the account has now been connected. Post this, all we have to do is click on process the report button, and this Excel sheet gets downloaded. So what does this have? This has, on the left side, if you see, this has the data as per our purchases, that is as per the QuickBooks accounting software. And on the right side, this has the supplier data, which is reflecting in our GSTR 2A. So the product is such that once your account is connected, it auto downloads this report basis what we have uploaded and what the supplier from his end has uploaded into GSTR 2A. And this gives a complete breakup of all the details that are there that we need to understand the mismatch. So this gives you a breakup of the exact match, the ones that are only in books, the ones which are there only in GSTR 2A portal, which means we have not yet passed the entries. So yeah, so this is the filter option where it will be able to give you the list of details which are exactly matched, which means the supplier and the purchase entries passed are perfect. This is the case where you have the entries which are there only in our books, which means this is a very important report. You will have to mail to your supplier and ask them to pass these entries, because these are being done from our end, but there is a delay from the supplier's end. The next segment are the categories of transactions which are there only in GSTR 2A or having a partial match. So what does it mean when we say partial match? It means that the entries which are made, both of us have passed the entries, but there has been a difference in the details that have been keyed in. So for example, the invoice number could be wrong, the date on which the dates mentioned as per us and as per the supplier could be wrong, and the report gives you the exact details of this content for you to just quickly mail it across to the supplier and get the corrections done. And last but not the least, it also gives you the details where it has the details where you have all the transactions which are there only in the GSTR 2A, which means these are transactions which a supplier has passed in, but we don't have it in our books, which means we have a list of transactions within which we can easily choose and recognize the transactions and accordingly post them into our solution. So this is what we have in store with respect to the GST compliance as such where QuickBooks is concerned. Let me take you through the most important part now, the accounting and the auditing solution that we bring in towards our accountants. So I will be taking you through three and four key aspects here: the transaction automation, the digitized bills, the reports and customization facility that we have in QuickBooks. So as we initially mentioned, there are so many transactions that we do as accountants on a day-to-day basis, where we are having to do a lot of manual intervention is involved in passing on these entries. It could be related to banking, it could be related to the invoicing facility, invoicing features, so on and so forth. So let me showcase to you how we facilitate automation in the banking segment. So currently, the standard practices, what we've commonly heard from accountants, is that the clients of theirs pass on the information to them with respect to bank statements and invoices and bills through soft copies which are on email in the form of PDF or Excel sheets. And there are some people who even carry them through hard copy form to the accountant's office. It is completely different and completely cloud-based and very easy in QuickBooks. Let me just show you how. So if I consider the banking segment, so we have a feature where if you have a basic net banking facility that today all banks are providing, basis that your entire transactions get imported into QuickBooks. So when I say transactions get imported, what it means is that the entire data that is there gets moved into the software. So you can see the spent and received, which are the debits and credits as per the bank statement, which come into the QuickBooks, and you just click on this transaction, you will be able to see the details of the narration and the description also that is available on the product. So all you have to do is click on this. Let's say this 20,000 has been received and you want to knock it off against an invoice. So the moment you say find a match, QuickBooks will automatically list all the invoices which are due and yet to be against which you still have to receive money. And you can just choose, let's say I choose this, you will see that this against this open invoice, this entry gets knocked off, and the 20,000 that we have received has already been accounted for in the system. So it is as easy as this. This is the basic feature where the bank account syncs, the transaction comes in, and you can just click on the transaction and classify the transaction. Similarly, that is the case with expenses as well. So for any debits in the transaction, let's say you want to say find a match. The moment you find a match, automatically it will throw up all the expense bills you've already passed, and against which the banking transaction you can just choose, click and classify them. So it is as easy as this on the primary basis. Now there is an advanced feature which is where the complete automation comes in. What this does is in QuickBooks, we can set rules. When I say rules, what are these? We can set rules based on unique transactions, individual transactions, which are actually very repetitive in nature and which are known to us that this will occur on a regular basis for any business that your client is into. So for example, I've set a rule here saying that wherever you see the word Paytm, then automatically post it to dues and subscriptions. And the moment QuickBooks sees this rule, it will automatically highlight, suggest saying that this condition is applicable to this rule, and the entry gets posted. So for example, let me give you a scenario where there is a business owner who is a client of yours who uses Uber frequently, like for example, 20 times a month, and all those Uber bills are there in our bank statement. You can set a rule in the system saying wherever you see Uber in the narration, you will be able to just post it to travel and conveyance account, and the system will either auto populate that. It can also, if enabled, do auto posting of the entry. So this is the advanced feature that we have where we bring in automation. Imagine such repetitive transactions. If we are able to recognize, there is so much ease that can come into the counting mechanism. Second part, let me just show you the invoice mechanism. So how invoices are created, how they are customizable. They're absolutely customizable, very well presented, very presentable, and on a click of a button, today it gets sent not only on email but on WhatsApp as well. So we have the option of sending the invoices on WhatsApp the moment it is created. Normally, if we are using Excel to create invoices, or we are having to create invoices through any other solution, we are having to export the PDF, go to email, and then type the email and then send it. That's not how it is in QuickBooks. So let me just show you the option that are here. You have the option, you can see the button that is enabled here. It shows save and share via WhatsApp. The moment you click on this, automatically the email invoice goes on email as well on the WhatsApp feature. So this is the fastest way we have enabled, in which you will be able to connect with your clients. Your clients will be able to raise their invoices to their clients as well. And this is the automation feature I would like to highlight here. There is something called make recurring. So let's say the chartered accountant firm has a practice of raising its invoices on 5th of every month. So all you have to do is go to those invoices once and just set the system that, yeah, you want to raise these invoices on 5th of every month. The system will save it as a template and auto populate all the invoices that you need to raise on 5th of every month. You just need to review them and click on it. So this becomes a mechanism where the tool becomes the maker, you become the checker, and on an automatic mode, the entire invoicing happens. The same is the case with all the expenses as well. You can automate these standard expenses like rent, housekeeping, the salaries. You can auto populate them and ensure the system works for you, and you just do the reviews from your end. So let me show you the quickly show you the invoice customization feature. It's a very important thing where a lot of time can be saved on every entry that we do and every effort that goes into this. So this is the structure of the invoice that we have. You can change the content, you can change the color, you can change the logos, you can add your different logos, choose a different font, and do whatnot, and make it very presentable. So the content also can be altered. You can change the content of this invoice by just clicking on this. You say a few of things. You don't want the HSN code. You don't want a few descriptions to there. You can just remove it off. And the moment you save it as a default setting, the entire invoice gets sent. So invoicing, please note, can be done from the mobile app as well. You can maintain your expense bills and the attachment. So let me take you through the most important part, which is digitization of the bills and invoices. So what do I mean when I say digitization? The most important part is that we have to bring in the mechanism where we can add attachments to every entry that we do. which means all the expenses and the transactions that we are doing, we have a mechanism to bring in the bill. So for example, this is a bill that has been attached in the system, and you can view it from here. And this is exactly how the feature which enables even accountants who are into auditing are into this. So what we can do is just click on this particular document. It will take you to the expense entry. You pass the expense entry along with the attachment as well. So any point in time from anywhere, irrespective of where the client is, in Hubli, Dharwad, or in Bangalore, the moment these expense entries are there, along with the attachment, anybody can view the system, view the entries on a live basis. Saying so, these are the few important things that really bring in digitization and automation through access on cloud. I would love to showcase the slide that we have, the price at which this software is available. And yeah, this is what it is on as displayed on screen. So the cost is as low as 223 rupees per month per client for you to completely get onboarded. And what we are doing now in this current situation is we are helping the accountants by helping you to migrate from any other desktop-based solution to QuickBooks for free. For all your licenses, the entire transactional data gets moved. We give technical training to your team members, to your clients, etc. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I will be passing on the presentation mode to our next presenter, Mr. Praveen, who couldn't unfortunately join earlier. Thank you so much for your patient listening.
I mean, have you passed on the screen sharing rights, Venkat?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen, Venkat?
We are able to see you. You will have to share your screens.
Is the presentation visible, Venkat?
Yes, yes, it is.
Hello. Yeah, it's in the. Okay. Hi, everyone. I thank the organizers. I thank KCA QuickBooks for giving this opportunity. Yes, there was a slight delay in getting connected due to technical issues. Today's topic for our discussion, that is on new age digital accounting for chartered accountants. It is precisely not only for chartered accountants, but even the auditors who are viewing this particular session for the day. We are coming up with this particular topic. Venkat, my screen is visible, right, Venkat? Hello? Hello, Venkat, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mr. Praveen, your screen was visible. If you could just move back to the presentation mode again.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see this slide called coverage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shruti? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Thanks for confirming. Yeah. Okay. So I have around 20 minutes to talk on today's topic. Let me give a disclaimer on this particular thing. I'm not promoting any of the tools or any of the products which I'm going to talk in between during this presentation. Neither KCA nor the other organizers do watch for the contents or the examples which I'm going to share and discuss with you for today's discussion. So what we are going to do, we are going to have understanding of the present system of bookkeeping. By doing so, we will have a glimpse of understanding what did this COVID-19 has made an impairment of our going concern continuity. At the same time, we will try to understand what is it we have learned from this particular COVID-19, what is that automation we need to think of, and next, for getting into this automation, what all challenges we have and how do we convert these challenges into opportunities. In fact, most of the content which I'm going to talk about, Venkat has done a great job of covering most of the content of my particular presentation, where when I talk through, you can see that you can correlate that all these aspects have been already covered by Venkat, which you'll also be able to understand in the due process. To begin with, let me start with this particular slide where we talk about the smarter auditor's office compared with the regular SME practitioners. When I say this, I don't say it's a big firm. I don't say it's a small firm. I would say the smarter auditor office, the smarter chartered accountant's office compared with the regular SME practitioners. When we see ourselves, like what is that the offices are smart enough, or why they're big enough to achieve bigger work? How can they manage bigger work compared to our regular firms? To start with, first and foremost thing is automation, what we see in this smart auditor's office. When I talk about automation, most of the information, most of the work is pre-planned. I repeat, most of the work is pre-planned. It doesn't so happen that I'll get up today morning, come to office, I'll sit and see, okay, I have 15 people in my office. Let me see what work I have to assign. No, it doesn't happen that way. At the same time, what I have to communicate to my client, what data I have to receive from my client, it is not discussed in the day. Everything is pre-planned. Automation, where there is a clear-cut understanding what as an auditor office I have to do, what as a client, my client accountant is supposed to give the information. We have the deadlines, we know how to work within the deadlines, how to keep this information ready. And second, the best part of this is data availability. People in this smart offices, they think a lot, they plan ahead, they have something called visibility of roadmap. What is the data I have to provide? What is the data I have to get it from client's office? Take an example. When we have 7th is the due date for TDS filing, when we have say 10th or 11th is the due date for filing of GST1, most of our offices we see 3rd, 4th, we start working on getting the data. Send a reminder that this is required. I get a data, I start working on that. And unfortunately, what if there is a public holiday in between? Assuming 5th, 6th happens to be a public holiday and 7th happens to be the next working day. Entire office is stuck with TDS calculations, TDS remittances. Second, GST returns. When we land upon say 10th or 11th, everything comes at the fag end. Where data comes, we need to validate, we need to keep the template ready, we need to push the data. In this smart CE office and auditor office, it doesn't happen that. Everything is pre-planned. When I say 7th is my cutoff date, whatever may be the situation, 5th is the cutoff date where my data is readily available. 5th, I have to make the remittance for the income tax purpose. When I say 10th is the due date for filing of GST1, 8th or so, my data is ready, I'm ready with my filing of returns. Next mechanism of this particular smart office is pull mechanism for data. When you say about this pull mechanism, the beauty of data segregation, how they store the data, how the data is retrieved. Say example, I need to lay my hands on a stock report which was submitted to a bank, say 6 months back. When I go into that particular data retrieval mechanism, this software or the tool will be designed in such a manner that client or the accountant or even the auditor would be in a position to get to the respective file without any much hurdle. Second part, beauteous part is when you have to take that final report, you need not spend your time in terms of validation. Take an example. When there is an inquiry from the GST department or income tax department saying that please provide this information for this particular remittance what you have made. All the time what we do is we take the data, we try to validate, okay, what does my accounting software, could be Tally, could be QuickBooks, could be your SAP, could be ERP. What does it say? What is the statement have? We try to do a matching reconciliation, verification. Is this the final data or is this the final data? This sort of thing never happens in this particular smart office because you have only one file which is called as a final file. And most important thing is audit tools or audit evidence. When we say this is the final data, everything is linked intact. Take an example. When we have to make a working for GST return, that is 3B, I have my sales data, I have my purchase data, I have input tax adjustment data. I ensure that all the respective workings are enclosed in one file, which is called the final file. And once I push the data into my return, I ensure that not even a single file there is a difference. The file which I have in my folder is a final file. I need not run here and there for sake of information. This is the beauty how they work with. And finally, if you see the fees, what generally they charge to the clients is on an average 5 times the resource cost which has been laid to this particular assignment. When you see the fees, is it so high? It is not the fee only for the manpower which has been developed. Understand there is a lot of science which is in accounting process where they understand what do I communicate, how do I track the data, how do I manage my work, what people I'm deploying, what is the level of knowledge these people have got. If there is a breakdown management, now whom do I deploy as a second key person? What is the level of work which has been finished? From there, how do I move on? All these are the things which were planned well ahead to keep my accounts updation. Take it from me. The most happening work is your accounts updation. If you're very strong in your accounts updation, the rest all, your income tax assessment, your indirect tax assessment, or your other budget preparation of financial statements, all this becomes a cakewalk. So first and foremost thing we need to understand is this is how we need to segregate how we manage our work. Unfortunately, when we see what we are doing currently, what we have is a senior who comes in and says, hey, look, today this is the work which has been assigned, or this week this is the work we have assigned. Most of the time it so happens that when the work is assigned in our offices, we have a small papers of this sign or a diary which we carry. We write down, okay, today's date, this is the work which was assigned to so and so person. Now this is how unfortunately the work monitoring which is happening. Now it's a time for us to think, how do I shift from the manual system? How do I shift from the manual system to a digital system where I keep a track of entire work which was assigned? What was the work executed? What is the work completed? Second aspect is data availability at auditor's office or clients. Most of the time, if you see, either the client has to get the files to the auditor's office or auditor's junior has to visit to the client place. Like Venkat was giving one example where email alert has come. Like auditor has sent an email to the client where client has looked into the query and he says the PAN the document is required. It just encloses the PAN. No problem. For ROC filing, I need some information from the client. Entire data has to be managed electronically rather than managing physically. Now, take it this way, we are expecting May 3rd, the lockdown may get over. But understand, even after the lockdown is over, it may take 10 days, it may take 15 days for us to become normal. For the simple reason, first and foremost, we are not prepared to travel. Now, can we expect our juniors to travel? Absolutely not. Especially imagine the juniors who have to travel by public transportation. The way we have a fear, the same way the juniors do have for the purpose of public commutation. The second biggest challenge is when the documents come, travel to your office, we have a hell lot of fear to touch those documents. Biggest fear is sanitization. I don't know this document which is coming to my office. It has been to India, it has been to Durbalapur, it has come from Chikmagalur, it has come from Mumbai. I don't even know which all courier agencies have gone through this particular physical document. So even the client is worried, even the auditor's office is also worried. So what we need to do is, instead of having this particular mechanism of physical dependency, try to become a little more smart in terms of converting those physical documents as a digital document. The next mechanism we have when we compare ourselves with the smart office is the push mechanism. Always we try to push, okay, hey, look, 10th is the deadline for filing of your GST1. 7th is the deadline for your tax payments. 15th is your advance tax. You have to submit your stock statements on 15th. What happens is always firefighting happens through the junior to the client or client to the auditor, auditor to the junior. It's a three-way mechanism where we try to keep on pushing things which is not planned well in advance. Even though if you have done planning, do we have a dashboard? Do we have an electronic means of tracking this particular data? Finally, if you see what we are best in terms of pricing, when we have to charge, assuming I deployed an accountant whom I'm paying 10,000, I'll be comfortable. Okay, 12,000 to 15,000 if I charge, I think that's good enough for me to think. This is how we have been thinking in terms of costing. Now we need to shift our focus where we digitize, we come into electronic mode, we overcome with these aspects and we move into from regular SME practice to the bigger, smarter CEO office. Again, how do we move on? In the further course of discussion, we understand various tools we have, how we can use the technology. Like QuickBooks, what Venkat has shown, couple of, again, I'm not watching that this is the best tool available, but however, there are certain features available, could be in Tally, could be in QuickBooks, could be in your ERP. How best we can make use of these resources, we will try to understand in little slow manner. Now, if we try to understand what we are doing on a present regular method of bookkeeping, we have various tasks which are planned on a daily basis. What we do on a daily basis, we try to update cash in bank transactions. We also update the purchase and sales transactions. For doing this particular activity, what we do is we, by and large, depend on these. There's a box which on the right side which says cash vouchers. Like my accountant, my company person has to give me the list of vouchers which I need to account for the money which has been spent through. Bank statement, take it from me. Like again, what Venkat has shown through auto reconciliation of bank information, a fantastic tool. Most of the software could be Tally, could be QuickBooks, could be Zoho, could be your ERP. Most of the accounting software have come with this auto reconciliation mechanism. It's a right time for us to think through. Again, not only private banks, even the nationalized banks are getting into this mode of providing electronic data. So let us think of updating these particular transactions. The next level in the queue is your purchase and sales transaction. As I said, is it required that I should have a physical document for accounting? Like one example, what Venkat was taking us through, I have a purchase document which is available as a bill. Now, if the accountant, or assuming if the person who spent the bill, it takes a photocopy of the bill, it gets converted that as a PDF, sends to the auditor through email. That is a document which is sufficient enough for us to do the accounting. The next question comes, sir, if we talk about electronic documentation, what do you understand, or how secure you are as an auditor to rely upon that as a evidence? We talk about the evidence or objective evidence for the purpose of bookkeeping. What if the evidence gets altered? What if the evidence gets changed? Now, for that purpose, we have checks and balances, something called your vendor's balance confirmation. Let us call for reconciliation of with vendors and creditor, the receivables and payables, where we ensure whatever the documents which have come through the client are intact, acceptable documents for us to account for. Next, when we move on to the next level of accounting, we have on a weekly basis where we do the impressed cash settlements, bank reconciliation, debtors, creditors, aging reports, budget preparation and analysis. These are a couple of reports. By practice, what happens is that every week, could be a Friday. I'm talking about the larger corporates or larger business segments where we as an accountant, we try to focus on getting these reports done. Now again, it's a time for us to think and see how we are generating these reports. There is a specific format. I export from accounting software into a spreadsheet. I convert into a specific format, and again I present it to the management. Now, what is the manual intervention which is happening? What is the manual dependency which is happening? Can we cut down those manual dependencies? Is my accounting software customized enough? Like the other day, Venkat was referring. So you name it, we will give you a customization, like what he was referring to the QuickBooks. The same way when we talk about the Tally, we have a TDL. TDL is a patch which is available for smaller amounts which we shell out. Or there is something called RTP, robotic technology process, where we automate a couple of these reports. We click of a button, my reports are readily available. And this particular aspect of fortnight updation, especially this is the core what I can say, core area of a professional who compete himself with the other professionals to differentiate how best he is in terms of pricing, how best he is in terms of getting the work retained from the client. We talk about statutory filing, we talk about budget preparation and other reports. When we do this particular activity, we have to depend on a couple of other activities called HR related activity of PF, ESI or professional tax, TDS and GST workings. As a professional chartered accountant, as an auditor, most of us are comfortable with income tax working. Most of us are comfortable with GST working. Now, have we ever thought, can we do a better job as an accountant we are doing? From there, when we move one step ahead, what is else we can do? One of the area which I've been thinking is HR reports. That is your PF computation, ESA, your leave encashment, all various other reports. What is currently happening is we depend on various tools independently to do this particular bookkeeping. Now, I'll just give a scenario. Again, I'm not promoting a web cloud software. I'm not putting aside a desktop-based software. When I say cloud-based, there are various accounting software which are cloud-based. QuickBooks is one of the software. When I talk desktop-based, there is various software which is restricted or limited to your system. Let's take an example. I have an accounting software. I use one accounting software for TDS returns. I use one tool for the purpose of GST returns. I use one tool for the purpose of my the PF calculation. Now, what happens? I have multiple tools which are working independently. Work in a particular tool, accounting software, take the data from the software, push the same data to the other tool, get the report from that tool, again export that tool to your government portal. Now, instead of doing that, is there a way where we can do a backward integration? We will have a little discussion on that, where like one of the examples which Venkat also was trying to refer through. So we have this great HR tool which has a backward integration of my HR reports. This is one of the examples which he was referring to. Can we think of having integration of these tools as a backward integration? Could be your Tally, could be your QuickBooks, could be your Zoho, could be your ERP, could be your SAP. Whichever be the accounting software we have, can we think of having a backward integration of these particular tools? Take it from me, if we can work on these particular areas, there is a lot of time which we can save upon in terms of reports generation. Now, the last and important aspect when we come to this bookkeeping, we as a professional accountant, we as an auditor, we focus on these various reports which we have to work upon. Like every month, the moment month gets over, I need to prepare something called aging report. I need to prepare a report called my bank reconciliation. I need to prepare a report called YTD financials. Now, these areas where we are working, are we working using the accounting software or are we relying upon a spreadsheet? Now, when I say accounting reports using a spreadsheet, we by and large depend on MS Excel. Definitely, like our life is nothing without MS Excel. However, can we rely on this particular software where there's a backward integration of generation of all these reports? There's one slide where I'll try to ease out how we can simplify these particular reports using various options we have. Now, as of now, when we do these various activities, as an accountant, as an auditor, let us sit for a while. Let us see what is the manual intervention happening, what is the manual dependency happening. Now, as a professional, can I take out, can I eliminate this manual process? Can I depend upon my accounting software to bring in automation for the purpose of my data flow? Now, let us have a quick walkthrough of our own office. Let us see where do we stand. To start with, when we think about our office, how tech savvy is our office? When I say tech savvy, may not be high-end gadgets. The partner having iPad, the partner having Apple system, it doesn't mean it's a tech savvy. It means how do we start looking at our office? Just to start with attendance management. Do we have a mechanism to have management of attendance through a tool? Sir, my office is small enough. I have only 5 people. Let it be 5 people. But do we have a system where I monitor what is the in time, what is the out time, what is the productive hours I have? So starts with your attendance. At the same time, when I talk about your attendance, next comes is your work assignment, work management tool. Now, when I talk about work management tool, most of the time we depend on small sheet of paper where my junior comes, says, sir, this is my work plan for today. As if a stenographer, like he comes and stands next to you, you dictate the work, they take down. No, end with the system. Come with some automation where you have your work management, which can be done through accounting software or it can be done through any of the tools. Right now, we have various task management tools. Like a couple of them are Zoho task management you can think of. You can think of Papilio, you can think of Trello, or even QuickBooks has got this task management panel, which Venkat has taken through. What happens is, the moment our day starts, the moment our accounting month starts, I assign the job. This is the client, this is the work assigned, this work, this is the juniors assigned, and this is the beginning date, this is the ending date. I have something called repeat. Okay, filing of TDS returns, repeat on a quarterly basis. Filing of Gst returns, monthly, quarterly. Put it a repeat activity where I can manage, I can monitor the work. Assuming I have assigned the work, I went to the department. I got late and I got stuck in the department due to traffic or various reasons. I don't know. Once my day is over, I come late and everyone left the office. I don't know what work I have assigned, what work is done. Assuming there is a drafting, there's some income tax notice has come. I don't know unless it sits on my table. I don't even know that there is a notice which has come through. Rather, use of a particular tool called work management tool where entire your task can be managed electronically. Like Papilio is one of the finest tools which has got most of the refinement to meet our office requirements. Second thing is with respect to your data storage process. Now, see, this is one another challenge we have with respect to the work management and segregation of data. I'll just give an example. So there is a client A. This client A is into construction business. But this client, I have 2 accountants or 3 accountants whom I have deployed. Say Ram, Sham, Geeta. When I see the data, what was received from the client, what was done by my juniors, and what was updated in the accounting software. When I go to the client folder, I'll see one folder with name Ram. I'll see another folder with Sham, another folder with Geeta. I want to see what is the sales booked April till September. I don't readily have that data in a specific folder. Instead of naming with the client, the moment I go to the client folder, I see sales, purchases, your bank statements, your cash settlements, your purchase orders, your sale orders, the various clusters. I would say individual name. Top of that, if you see, digging the final data, like if I go to a stock statement, in stock statement, if I go to September, there'll be 3 files. I don't even know which is the final file. I have to open all the 3 files. I have to see physical file. I have to compare. Oh, this is the final file. This is how we have the data storage which is happening. Now you have to teach your team how this data storage needs to happen. Now it's a time for us even to think a junior when he joins your office. What is the quarantine time you have for your junior? Don't mistake me. Quarantine time is in relation to this COVID-19. The moment the junior joins your office, do you have some period called learning curve? Means I'll give you 15 days, 30 days, or 2 months, where the junior gets geared up in all various aspects. I was talking with one of our professional friends the other day. A junior who joins the office, he was straight away given a client's data, do this updation in Tally. The moment I open the accounting software, I don't even know what are the features available, what are the shortcuts available. Some senior comes and says, hey, look, this is a client, download this particular data as a creditors report from the QuickBooks. I don't know various reports which are available. Like, without giving enough time for them to get geared up with the data segregation, data understanding, how the office functions, how various tools function, what are the features available in MS Excel, what are the features available in MS Word, features available in your accounting software. We need to give enough time where I have a chat kind of thing. Okay, these are the things you should learn, then only I can deploy you to the work directly. I do something called self-assessment test. Unless you clear the test, I cannot put on to the client's job. Again, take it from me. If you say, sir, it is impossible, compare yourself. Do you want to be in a SME sector? Do you want to be in a smart office sector? If you want to be in a smart office sector, you have to shell out. So I don't get manpower. So you give what they want and take what you want. This is the order of the day. Take it from me. This COVID has brought in a globalization way, the way the Indian economy got opened in 1990s. The same way most of our accounting fraternity is going to see this globalization. Sitting in Tumkur, sitting in Davangere, sitting in Chikballapura, sitting in Hubli, sitting in Maharashtra, sitting in Telangana, sitting in somewhere in Karwar, my junior can do office work without even visiting to the client's place. And take it from me, once I'm good enough, my office gets spread to the junior where they are sitting across. So entire globalization is going to have where you can see the competitiveness coming into your own area because of this cloud accounting software which is going to come through. Now, this is one thing which I want to talk to you, where when you are doing of your accounting software, there are various activities called TDLs. When I refer to TDL, this is referred to tally, where I have various batch reports running that particular TDL. It's as it is a small software. The moment I run the software, report customization, data entry, using a spreadsheet, directly accounting entry posted into my software is possible. When I talk about ERP or SAP, there is something or RPT, robotic process technology, where human intervention can be cut down, auto entries into the software, like example, bank reconciliation. Like Venkat was taking through one particular process, the moment I see reference to what you call Paytm, reference to Uber, automatic entries are done using this technology called RPT. Hats off to the thought process which is happening of this cloud-based software. We are getting used to it. Like if we compare ourselves, seniors compared with the freshly qualified chartered accountants, the new generation which has come in, they're much ease compared to us. For the simple reason they have adopted themselves for the cloud-based accounting software. It's a time for us to think how to get ourselves to digitization. I was talking about backward integration. When you look into your accounting software, see what all reports can be customized. Like Venkat was referring to a couple of Schedule 3 reports. Sir, you give your requirement. Take example of your sales invoice. When you think of your invoice generation, you want your logo, I'll give it to you. You want your Paytm to be linked. He was giving an example. Sir, you send an invoice, let the client need not send a check. I'll give you a scan QR code, or I'll give you a link. The moment client clicks on the link, the moment client does the QR code scanning, your payment is done through your electronic mode. We are there to do this particular integration to your requirement. Now, every accounting software, they are listening to you, they're coming to you to help you in terms of this automation. This is the right time for us to think what is this backward integration we can do. And one of the quick thing we have to think of is your reconciliation of your GST, reconciliation of your income tax, reconciliation of PF ESA. Can it be linked automatically with my accounting software? Answer is yes, yes, yes. It's only the time for you to think what all resources I have. How do I do? Again, I'll just give an example. Sir, I have a accounting software which I have to pay 20,000. I have income tax software I have to pay 5,000 or 8,000 a year. I have HR software I have to pay again 10,000. I have multiple software which are all which are spread in a different angle. No, cut down. See whether there is a synchronization of these softwares with the main accounting software. Like one of the tool which Venkat was taking us through, all this backward integration he was talking through, everything was there. You name it GST, you name it your HR reports, it is readily available. So it's a time for us to see in our existing accounting software, which all other supporting softwares we have, which can be integrated with a minimal ease. I can do my filing. One of the report which again Venkat was taking us through is in relation to GST filing. QuickBooks is a GST software, so GST Suvidha providers, where click of a button from my accounting software, data goes into my GST reports login with some OTP procedure, which is very minimal human intervention. Now, this is one of the examples. We have various accounting software. Every software has got this feature inbuilt using a third software which is readily available. It is time for us to think of this particular backward integration. Next is your budget allocation on IT infrastructure. You sit and think back, how much I have spent in terms of my office, spending in terms of office on the resource, the employees, on the learning, on IT infrastructure. When I say IT infrastructure, it is not the hardware, it is not the keyboard, mouse, etc. It is not the laptop per se. Rather, how much we are spending in terms of digitization. Like example, sir, I have a cloud-based software. Okay, I have the data which I need to save on cloud. Like one of the example which even Venkat was giving, sir, we have a space to store all your documents. Now, let there not be a hindrance. Assuming client wants to save the data in his cloud, at the same time to be on your cloud. We have Google Cloud, we have Google Drive, we have Dropbox, we have OneDrive. There are multiple software which are providing at a minimal cost. Now, getting 100 TB at a cost of 1,000, is something which is very, very dead cheap compared to the hardware what we carry. When I have a hardware, I keep the data. Suppose hardware is corrupted or it was stolen, and the data is gone. Let us think of having this data which can be stored on a cloud. The next and most important thing, I was talking about this particular thing, especially in this particular situation, data backup and incremental data accounting. This is the finest challenge, and this is the best support we can give it to any of the client. I refer to something called incremental data accounting. What do you mean by incremental data accounting? Incremental data accounting, say, I have done the bookkeeping till 21st March. Suddenly, because of some reason, my server room AC was not functioning. There was a excess heat generated. Entire data on the server was lost. My juniors, they have been doing the bookkeeping right from 21st till say 15th April. Suddenly, I noted that from 10th April, my data recording got lost. I don't know what happened, but do we have a means to say how many entries were posted till 10th April? What are the entries which got missed out from 11th April till 15th April? This is called incremental data accounting, where I have a track on a daily basis. This is my backup. Backup is saved somewhere which is readily retrievable with a reference to a date. In a click of a button, I'm readily able to retrieve that. Second thing, every day using your task management, that is your tool. Like one of the tool I was referring to Pepilio. Even in QuickBooks, we have one of the tool. I can retrieve to the tool and say, these are the accounting entries which were posted from this voucher till this voucher. Oh, this voucher is related to this party. Okay, let me do this particular thing. In minutes, in hours, or at best in a day or day's time, I have my incremental data, which is readily built back using this particular mode of operating. So this is one thing which we need to think of, how we can secure the data in cloud. At the same time, we can track what is the data readily available, what is the data which is missing. Definitely, some sort of system knowledge is required, and it is not absolutely a rocket science for us to upgrade to this level. Now, this is one slide which I was trying to put across to you people. Let's think ourselves, what is the value add we can give to our clients in terms of accounting services using our digitization. When we think of this term called digitization, if you happen to see, every day you get an alert message on your mobile because of this credit card agencies. The moment the electricity bill is generated, it says, hey, look, this is a bill you have to pay to this particular BESCOM. The moment your mobile bill or landline bill is generated, they say your act service provider has generated a bill of 20,000. There's an alert which comes through your credit card agencies. Everything is recorded on your behalf. You have not given an access to them. However, one time once you made a payment, there's a auto triggering of the similar information which is being picked up. The same way, when we look at from accounts perspective, can we see? Okay. When we think of this particular scenario, yeah, I'll take another 8 minutes to wrap up. Let's have a Q&A. Couple of important things we have to cover. So we have a next thing called this push notifications, like bank transactions. The moment there is a payment, the moment there is a receipt, we update the client. Look, this is the money received from so-and-so client. The moment I raise the invoice, this is the total outstanding from this receivable from this particular client. Notifications on legal amendments. Now, when we think of digitization, is there a possibility? The moment we raise a tax invoice, there's a communication given to the client that this is the invoice raised on you. At the same time, there's a communication to the business owner. These are the bills outstanding, and including this bill, this is the total amount due. There's already a button available. This is a credit limit set. This is the total amount which is already billed for. These are all various customization which can be thought of using digitization. If you ask a question, sir, is it possible? Is it possible using Tally, using QuickBooks, using your ERP, Zoho? Answer is yes, it is possible. It is only we need to visualize beyond accounting, what else I can provide to my client in terms of this particular reports which I can give it to my client. Now, if you see where we are, what impediments we have in terms of this COVID-19, first and foremost thing, we have restriction to this data access. Wherever we are talking about the desktop-based accounting software, we have understood locally in the server, which is in the office. I don't have access to the office. Now, can we push into the cloud? This is the first thing everyone is thinking of. Answer is yes, we can do that. Now, we need to understand what do you mean VPN? What are the various resources available? How do I get connected securely? And how do I ensure that the data is available across? Documents available for book updation, as I say, don't make your team to travel to the client space. At the same time, let client need not visit your office. Get the documents digitized, convert into PDF, like Venkat was giving an example. Use your accounting software, use your tools where data comes electronically. The best part which I've seen in QuickBooks is converting the voucher itself into an accounting entry. Now, assuming you as an auditor sitting in your office, you want to do a quarterly audit of this particular client. Month on month, the moment I get the access to accounting software, every accounting voucher, I have an accounting document, supporting document, which is readily available, which is easing out your audit process also. Accounting is easier, audit process is easier. Next thing is work scheduling. As I said, there are a couple of tools. Let us use how I have to assign the work, how I have to take what is the stock of work done, which is the work which is not done. Finally, unexpected cost cutting. Now we need to think of various resources where I can cut down my cost. Cutting down of my accounting cost is not the cost which we are talking about. How best I can use the resources, I can improve my productivity using this particular automation, using this particular digital tools what we have. Now, when we are talking about all this digital tools, etc., we need to think of something called moving from desktop to the laptop. That is where we try to automate, where we give access like a own your desktop mechanism, where we give a remote access using this cloud accounting software to all our clients. We further move on to, I'll take another 3 minutes to wind up. We have this particular challenges, which is we need to understand. Now, understand everything, always the change management should start from the seniors in the office. Unless we are technically capable, unless we know how to use the technology, we cannot educate the junior how to get used to this particular accounting software. Having said that, once we get digitized, it is not sufficient enough. Our client has to get understood, even our suppliers needs to get educated. Now, you have to bring in this sense of thought process saying that, look, entire world is down, entire market is down, and everyone is maintaining social distance. Like, let us see how the documents flow electronically, at least for a period of 6 months. Using that digital documents, we maintain our bookkeeping intact. At the same time, with respect to automation and tool management, as I said, there are various tools, and this COVID time, various accounting software like Zoho, Google, Microsoft, they have come with their suite of products where they have said, try for a period of 15 days, 30 days, then you get into this particular tool management. Give a try, see what suits best in terms of pricing, in terms of convenience, and get into this particular aspect. Last and final, we talk about this particular aspect when we talk about all these methods what we have, digitization. So there is an enormous time which is saved when I put everything into a systematic manner. What do I do next? I have used QuickBooks, things are automated. I have used Tally, things have been automated. What should I do next? The next question to you is data mining, budget reports, preparation of your monthly financials, or maintenance of records. You bring in the cost reduction to your client where you say, I do this additional support without any additional billing. 6 months UTC, then let us think of revisiting on billing. What else can be done? Once I bring in discipline of bookkeeping into my office, then we can see a lot of time which gets generated, energy which gets generated, which can be used for multiplying my clientele, for multiplying my returns. Like I was talking about GST returns, one of the tool Venkat which has been showing. Assuming in my office a junior sits for half a day to one day for collating data of GST 1, GST 2, GST 3B. Click of a button, my login into the portal, data downloading happen, reconciliation happen. What I do with that particular 1 day time save. Now, this is the time you need to invest in terms of upgrading yourself. What I can do with making further reports available to the client, or giving additional support to the client in terms of doing the budget preparation. What was the budget? What was the actual? And take it from me, all these features are readily available with most of this cloud-based accounting software for us to bring in customization automation. With this, I conclude my note for today, and we leave the session open for question and answer session. Venkat, hope you are available. Venkat?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Praveen. I'll just be launching a small quick poll that we have, post which we will be taking them to the FAQ session where they are open to ask the questions. So launching this poll on the screen, we will be giving 10 seconds for people to give in their opinions. It's on the screen now. You can click on that and share your feedback. We'll keep this open for another 5 seconds. Thank you so much. So a few people to thank at this point in time on behalf of Intuit India. Thank you so much, KSCA, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much, Mr. Praveen, for being a part of this session along with us. And a special thanks to Vijay Kumar sir, who's the technology committee head from KSCA, for being excellently cooperative and being very supportive to Intuit as always. So let me introduce the panelists we have on. We have the panel on today. So we have Mr. Mahadevan from Intuit, Mr. Munish Bansal, Mr. Vijay Kumar Patil from KSCA, and of course we have CA Praveenkumar sir online. So you can see the text section on the right side. That is where you can type in your questions, and with respect to along with considering the time that we have, we will be happy to take the questions from your end. So we are waiting for 2 seconds. Yes. So I think we got a question. It says how GST reconciliation would be done by the QuickBooks software. So this is open to the panelists that we have, Mr. Munish and Mr. Mahadevan from QuickBooks, who can probably answer this question.
Yeah, maybe I can share my thought on that, Venkat. Thank you for calling it out. So the GST reports, as you had shown in the software, are largely automated, whether it's GSTR1, 3B, the the mismatch report also on the 2A side, which we also have monthly now. Earlier we launched it with yearly. So if the right tagging and the entry is done at the invoice level, then the reports are all auto-generated. And one of the things I don't remember if Venkat covered that is we also have a direct integration with the GST portal, where just by a click of the button, the return can be uploaded to the data can be uploaded to the GST portal. And that's one of the important features we rolled out in the last few weeks, especially for our chartered accountant community. So it's not offered to the businesses directly. It's only offered for our CA fraternity right now.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for the response, Mr. Munish. We have another question. There are many questions coming in. So let me, as and when I read them, I'll be calling them out. We are a proprietary office in Shimoga, where none of our clients use QuickBooks. How do you help us here? So probably I'll be happy to take this myself. So we are definitely in the prime locations in the cities across India, but for all the tier 2 cities as well, we provide the migration support, which means if you're using some other desktop solution, our team will take up the work of migrating data from a particular software and onboarding them into QuickBooks. Second thing is we provide, in fact, in Bangalore and in the bigger cities, if there was no corona, we go to CA's offices, schedule the sessions and do the trainings in their offices. We equip you and your clients. So currently we will be happy to do a one-to-one session where we train you and your clients over the web. So that's exactly how we'll be able to help you, and we are happy to. Thank you so much for asking that question. I'm sure this would have been in many people's minds. can you tell once again on the license cost and what all that includes? Yeah, maybe Mr. Mahadevan or Munish, you could probably share that once again from your end.
Yeah, so basically on the pricing side, we normally offer as both of the integrated products together, which is QuickBooks Online Accountant, which is integrated with the accounting product for QuickBooks Online, which offers the cloud accounting part. So we have different packages available where you may go for some 15 to 50 licenses along with the QuickBooks Online Accountant, which is the practice management tool. So the price starts from as low as 150 plus GST for the 50 licenses, and then it slightly increases for the lesser packs as well. So we can share the details later if in case you had shown interest in the poll that Venkat had shared earlier.
Thank you so much, Munish. So there's one question which says, how secure is our data? So let me share this very important information. So if let's say you're using a desktop solution in which people are able to just put a pen drive there and take away data, you don't get any kind of reports, or you're not able to track those things. In QuickBooks, it is very secure because only the authorized people are allowed to use the software, where whomever the admin has given the permission. And every transaction, which means if I add an expense entry, if I add an attachment, if I download a report, all of these are covered in a log, in a report called audit log. So every audit log report will show you the detailed transactions of all the activities running in the system. Other than that, when it comes to the software as the larger picture, we are a 36-year-old organization with not a single data security breach till today, and we use 256-bit bank level securities. So that's the basis on which even banks have tied up with us. So it's absolutely secure. You can completely rely on us. We use Amazon servers for securely keeping our data. Right. And thank you so much for asking that question. And yeah, the next question is, practice management separately chargeable? Okay, so we've bought in this mechanism where this is given as a package to the chartered accountants. So the practice management is packaged along with a bundle of licenses that you initially get from us, and that comes to you as a package. So the answer is that we don't sell the practice management software as a standalone software. It's a package along with the accounting software. Then how will the bank statements be uploaded on QuickBooks? Yeah, so probably we'll just take two more questions in the interest of time. We'll definitely be able to answer a lot of questions. These are procedural aspects which probably on a call or a video webinar we will not be able to explain. We will be happy to connect with you on a one-to-one and show you the products in detail. So yes, Mr.
I recommend let's have another 5 minutes because many people are there who are willing to understand most. Let's see.
Sure. So do we have the provision for inventory maintenance in QB? Yeah, Mr. Munish, could you please take that up, please?
Yeah, sure. So we do have the inventory module within the same product. So there are no different modules or any different products that we have. So in the same product, which is the cloud accounting solution, you can choose to integrate inventory as well. And you can manage your inventory to a great extent in terms of the trading, in terms of the retail as well. And if you have like a very advanced requirement on the inventory side, we also have a few third-party apps integrated where they are able to give very advanced level inventory requirements fulfilled with the QuickBooks.
Wow, thank you so much. And we have the next question, which says, we have two different units in our office. Do we need to take separate licenses for them? Wonderful question. I'm sure this is going to be there in many people's minds, and would love to answer that myself. So how this works is QuickBooks is configured at the GSTIN level. So let's say within Karnataka, you have all your branches, which means you're in Shimoga, you're in Davangere, you're in Bangalore. then you definitely don't have to purchase 2 different licenses. Considering the fact that for each state-wise location, our government has made it mandatory for us to go in for different GSTINs. If you are having another branch which is in a different state, definitely you have to add on add on another license. However, all of them you will be able to see in the same login. This is just the mechanism with which we have the accounting software structured. It will not change any operational activities for your organization to use QuickBooks. Right. How to get today recorded information? Sure, ma'am. We will share that with you on mail. We will share the link of the webinar. And then, is it per license includes the number of clients we cater to? Yes, I think that's also another wonderful question. We are very glad to answer these questions because it shows so much of interest and people are wanting to adopt technology. And so yes, that's the answer, that we have to have one license per client, and each of the clients you will be able to log in. You will be able to restrict the login, give access to the concerned people, authorized people, and so on and so forth. So probably we'll go ahead with this and take up one last question to wrap up the session. Can you share what are all included in your app so that we can know what the client can do at his end? Excellent. So let me just share this screen with you where I had this content. So this is the details of all that is included here. So we have the free migration of data for you. We have the free training that's going to be given to you and your clients. We have unlimited data storage, unlimited data transfer. We have free QuickBooks mobile app logins, which means all the transactions that you want to do, you raise your invoices, you send on WhatsApp, all those things you can do it from your app. And we have a dedicated CA channel support number where this dedicated special people who are chartered accountants who are onboarded into our channel, chartered accountant channel, will be given utmost care, and we'll be here to cushion you with all your queries and solve for all your doubts that you have on the software. So this is all that is included for this price of a bare minimum of around 200 rupees in a day-to-day where you know one side travel to one of your client places through cab may cost you around 200 rupees. So that's how low we've priced it, really showing the value that we bring into you. And I think that's it from our end. Over to Mr. Santosh on behalf of KSEA, who will be taking this forward from here. Thank you so much, viewers. And this has been a wonderful opportunity given to us from KSEA. And yeah, over to you, Santosh. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, speakers, for taking us through the digital accounting for chartered accountants. I'm pretty sure with the insights that we have been provided with, we as chartered accountants would prefer to move to cloud pretty soon. Particularly in situations like this, when we are confined to our homes, it would ensure that our operations remain unaffected to a large extent. Thanks to the speakers once again for accepting the offer to speak even during this lockdown. And thank you for providing valuable insights into the new age digital accounting for chartered accountants. I would also like to thank the team behind this webinar, the technical team, which made this webinar possible today. Without your efforts, it would not have been possible for us all to connect together and have this webinar. Before we conclude, I would like to once again bring to the notice of all the attendees the various initiatives taken up by KSCA during this lockdown session. We request you all to participate effectively in all these initiatives. We have the meal delivery initiative by KSCA. KSCA has already delivered 18,000 meals to the poor and needy people. The initiative is still open and anyone can contribute to the same by visiting the website of KSCA. KSCA is also organizing another webinar on this 23rd, that is this Thursday, on the topic self-introspection by CA Sanjay Dariwal. I'm requesting all the attendees to make the best use of the same and register for the same at the earliest, as we have seats limited to 250. I would also like to bring to the notice of you all another new initiative taken up by KSCA. We have come out with an online survey form. Through this form, KCA seeks to survey the financial impact on various compliances under corporate law, direct tax law, and indirect tax law due to the coronavirus lockdown. Users can pose their queries, concerns, which shall be answered by the subject matter experts in the upcoming webinars. It shall also be used for making representations to various government authorities. So special thanks to all the listeners for your very good response to this webinar. Thank you each and everyone for your active listening and for making this a grand success. And let us make the best use of this downtime to spend time with our families, to increase our knowledge base, and to develop a new skill, and then come out to rebuild our economy and our nation. Most importantly, let us be very sincere to our pledge to stay home and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
That's our contact number. Please feel free to connect with us anytime you want to get in touch with me directly. I've added my number as well. Thank you so much. As Santosh mentioned, thank you for being a part of this, and stay home and stay safe. Bidding goodbye to all.
Venkat, your number is not visible. Can you just read it out?
Yeah, it is 99169 15350. I repeat, it is 99169 15350. I have shared it on screen. Is it visible now?
Not visible, Venkat.
Now? Actually, shared the screen. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the contact details of Intuit India as well as my personal number. Please feel free to get in touch with me, and we will be happy to take any queries and take you through the product demo in detail as well. Thank you so much, one and all. Take care. Have a good day.